What's up, everyone? This is Ryan from Shoe Podcast, back with another unboxing with one of the most controversial shoes yet this year. That's right, it is the Jordan 1 Next Chapter, also known as the Jordan 1 Across the Spider-Verse, also known as the Jordan 1 Spider-Man 2.0. Whatever you call it, we're going to be looking at it. Let's go ahead. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. We're a podcast that talks about the history of your favorite sneaker grails to the upcoming hottest releases and everything in between. If you're not already, do us a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. It actually greatly helps a small channel like ours. So a little bit of backstory on these before we start unboxing them. These had an early access release on the Nike Sneakers app, but they officially released on May 20th for the retail price of $200, which is actually $20 more than your standard Jordan 1 price of $180. So I'm hoping there's something in here that, is evident of that $20 increase there. I was lucky enough to get these from Sneaker Politics at one of their Shake Back Sunday events, so as always, shout out Politics. I wanted to wait a little while before making this video because I wasn't sure at first if I'd be into them, so I wanted to see if they'd grow on me, but it's been long enough. Let's go ahead and start unboxing them. So starting off with the box here, you can see that these come in the standard Jordan 1 box. It's the black and red box, so there's 0 for 1 on your extra $20, getting you something there. You really would have thought for like these shoes tying into the Spider-Verse movie that they would have some sort of themes of like all these different worlds coming together. They would have done something special in the box, but nope, standard Jordan 1 box, which I guess is good if you're displaying these and you like that whole consistency thing, you can have that, but feels like they could have done something here. The only notable thing about the box is the size tag here, just to let you know. These are officially called the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG SP. And the colorway is called University Red/Black. So really no special nods to anything there. I did go with the size 11, which is my size. I went true to size like I normally do on Jordan 1s. I haven't tried these on yet, but I'm anticipating that they fit true to size like most other Jordan 1s. I think that's probably about everything you can say about a box, especially one that we've seen a million times with every other Jordan 1 release. So let's go ahead. We can start actually opening them and getting into what everyone came here for. So I forgot about this. These shoes come individually wrapped. Normally with like Jordan 1s or most other Nike releases, there's one long piece of tissue paper with them wrapped over. I guess this is a bit trivial, but for those of you that are, taking notes at home, these shoes come individually wrapped, which I think is how a lot of the Jordan 1 85s have been coming lately. I don't actually own a pair, so if you do and you can confirm or deny that, let me know in the comments down below. But the shoes come individually wrapped like that. So if you're looking to pick up a pair and there's only one sheet of tissue paper in there, that might be a nod that something suspicious is going on. Let's go ahead. We can get these out of the tissue paper now. I'm already tearing through a little bit there. That's all right. The good thing about having all this extra tissue paper in there is that, like, for those of you at home that love the tissue paper ASMR, y'all are eating today. This is really for you. All right, get the box out. There you have it, the Jordan 1 Next Chapters. Okay, these are kind of wild and crazy in person. So as you can probably tell, all of the different mismatched panels and materials on here are meant to represent that Spider-Verse theme of multiple different universes all colliding and coming together into one. So starting off walking around all those different materials and panels, down here on the mudguard, you've got this bright red leather right next to a darker red suede next to it. I wouldn't really call this like a long hair suede or anything like that. It's pretty short hair. It's kind of rough to the touch. Not like sandpapery, but it's definitely coarse to it. This red on the mud kind of seems brighter than most other Chicago ones, which this colorway is obviously loosely or not that loosely based off of. But it's still nice. It's not tumbled leather, not anywhere on the shoe, but it's fine. It's Jordan 1 leather. And then right next to the mudguard on these sort of toe panels here, you've got two different materials. This darker, like oil stained, blotchy kind of leather, and then the bright red, cherry pink patent leather, which here's a funny story for you. Growing up, I had a Game Boy Color and it was one of the red ones, but it was called like cherry red. And all the kids on the playground would be like, it's pink. And I'd be like, no, it's not pink, it's cherry red. So these are kind of giving me like childhood trauma flashbacks right now, but I'm a grown man and I've learned from it and I'm okay with that. And interestingly enough, on these toe panels here, the panels are inverted between the inner side and the outer side on the shoe. So you can see on the outer side of the shoe, it's the darker, what I'll call oil stained leather at the bottom with the patent leather on top. And on the inside, it's vice versa with the patent leather on bottom and the oil stained leather on the top. That sort of leather here is the same one that you find on the heel. along with the short-haired suede comes back here, and then the bright red leather from the toe is back here. Okay, take that back. I might be wrong about that, or I might just not be catching it. This leather on the toe of the mudguard, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, it feels and looks slightly different back here. I don't know if that's more of like a suede-ish leather or something like that, if that makes sense, but it definitely doesn't feel as smooth to the touch as it does on the toe right here. So that's interesting. I hadn't caught that before. Yeah, it kind of looks the same on both pairs. I mean, I would hope so. You would hope it would. Complementing all of your panels of red are, of course, the white leather on the toe and the midfoot here. It feels like the same leather that you've got around the mudguard, only obviously in white. These are not tumbled leather. They're not the soft, kind of like cushy, plushy leather. I've still got the toe guards in there, but you can see pushing down on it. It doesn't have a ton of give to it, but I'm sure they'll break in nicely. Moving up the shoe then to the eye stays and the wings right here, you have probably the material that most people are talking about, which is this sort of papery material with all of these dots on it. And that's obviously meant to represent comic books, the way comic books were printed back in the day. I think that's what these dots are meant to represent here are printer ink, CMYK, of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. I don't know why black starts with K and not B, but it does. But that's, the comic book panels you have around the wings is the bigger print right here, and then kind of shrunken down as you would normally see in a comic book up here on the wings and on the eye stay right here. And again, the eye stays are inverted between the outer of the shoe where it's that larger print and the inner of the shoe where it's that smaller print. And yeah, these comic book panels right here have that sort of papery material and feel to them that are obviously meant to mimic comic book paper. And they kind of remind me of some of the past shoe releases that have this papery material that are meant to be like tearaway or destructive. So I'm not going to be the one to do it, but I'll give kudos to anyone in the comment. I'll pin a comment if you can upload a video proving that you tore away these to see if there's anything underneath. I haven't seen anyone do it, and I doubt there's anything down there, but I want someone out there to try it. It ain't going to be me though. So fun fact, for a while there, when these shoes were first releasing online or people were getting early pairs or in hands or stuff like that, people were calling these the pepperoni ones because the large red circles on here, I guess, kind of look like pepperonis. And it's funny, you laugh at it, but once you see it, it's kind of hard to unsee it of the pepperoni ones. So there's another name you can add to the list of names that people might be calling these by. Also up here on the wings, you've got your Air Jordan Wings logo printed on it. It's kind of like a sticker. It's kind of got like the plasticky decal feel to it there. And it's a white, yellow, and red, again, kind of mimicking the comic book thing under it, but with no blue in it. I know some people are divided on this. They don't like that it feels kind of plasticky like a sticker, but I don't know that you really could have embossed down into this material underneath it. Finally, the last color and material you have on the outside of the shoe to accent everything is this black iridescent patent leather that's on the swoosh and the collar of the ankle up here. And you can see, I hope the camera's picking this up in the right light, it's got this sort of reflective rainbow, almost like oil slick quality to it, where it's prismatic and you can see different colors in it, which again, I think is meant to tell that story of the Spider-Verse, of all the different worlds and colors coming together and colliding and combining. I'm normally not the biggest fan of patent leather, whether it's a whole shoe, just a little accent on a shoe, any part of a shoe, it's normally not my thing. This black one kind of changes that for me though, because I like how it's got that sort of holographic pattern to it. The red, the cherry red, I'm still not that big a fan of, but this I kind of like. I like the way that it catches the light and you might be outside walking in these and it'll kind of give it that little twist element to it, even though this is already a pretty wild shoe to be wearing on your foot to begin with. Now moving back around to the middle of the shoe, you get to the tongues here, which kind of come in this cream color. It seems mostly like, I don't know if the fabric itself is that cream color or if it's just a lighter white that's showing the foam underneath it, which of course is going to have that peach color to it, but you can see that the main part of the tongue is this cream color with a white piping around the edges here. And these are, you can see it right there. These tongues are stiff as hell. These are so wide and flat, and I'm guessing they're gonna break in like that. I had a pair of the denim Jordan 1s that released not that long ago that kind of had this same thing to them, where the tongues, like right out of the box, are standing at attention and looking at you. So I really hope they break in. You could already see you're getting a little bit of creasing there on the inside of it. So I'm imagining these are eventually going to break it. It's just kind of funny to see them come out of the box just like straight up looking at you. The other interesting detail about the tongues here, of course, is the tongue tag, the Nike Air tongue tag, which is on this one completely on the front of the shoe. It does not wrap over the top back around to the inside like most Jordan ones. It's just completely printed on the front. I don't know why they did that. It's an interesting choice. I'll give them that. It's something different. I don't really know if I like it or not yet. I mean, I guess you're at the point where you have so much already going on with this shoe that you're like, why not throw another thing at it, you know? Why stick to convention on any part of this shoe? So maybe that's the reason. Just, you know, if you're going to go all out on this shoe, go all out on this shoe, and they certainly did. Moving to the inside of the shoes, you have a black sock liner here. Oh, and this one's actually pretty soft. This is not scratchy. It's your normal kind of fabric material, I would call it, but sometimes the Jordan 1 sock liners can be kind of scratchy, which is tough if you're not wearing tall enough socks for it. That'll be rubbing on your legs. The insoles are just standard black with red printing on it. Not much else to say about the inside of a shoe. You're never going to be seeing it. Your foot's going to be in it, so doesn't make that much of a difference to me. Finally, moving down to the bottom of the shoe, you've got cream colored midsoles here, which I like when they do the sail color, especially against a bright white leather right above it. I think it gives a nice contrast and it helps it from all blending and running together and looking like one blob. So gives it some nice separation and definition to the shape there. And the last detail that maybe not everyone here knows about, these come with translucent red outsoles. They look solid red in a lot of the pictures, or kind of like a gum red, but they are, like, if you think of what icy blue is, but just make it red, that's what these are. And they actually glow in the dark. Now, I was a little bit surprised to find out. You would think, right, red soles glow in the dark, they're gonna glow red. No, they actually don't. They kind of glow probably closer to like white, or almost like a really light orange or peach color. A little bit surprised that they don't glow red. I think that would have been really cool, but glow in the dark is cool nonetheless. You're gonna take these cosmic bowling, you're gonna take these playing laser tag, you're gonna take these several other dark places, but with UV light, and they're really gonna be doing something for you there. But that about does it for the shoe. Surprisingly, there's no hang tag, there's no extra laces. Check the box one more time. I don't know if I missed them. No, there's no hang tag. There's no extra laces. So I'm guessing the extra $20 that we spent got us just all the different materials, which again, I give it to them. It's a lot of different materials, and I'm sure every unboxing video without fail, there's always at least one point where I drop the shoes. But there are a lot of different materials, and I'll give it to them. There's different cuts in the panels here than there normally would be, so I don't know if that requires some different tooling or something like that, because you've got a split on the wings here, a split on the heel, a split on the eye stays, a split on the mud guard. I don't know if that requires some different tooling, and that maybe goes into the price point, or all the different materials, you know, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think if I counted correctly. I might have missed something, but at least 8 different materials on the outside there. So I guess maybe the cost of having to buy all the different materials is getting passed on to us. I don't know. But again, you would think, throw an extra pair of laces in there. Throw a white pair. Probably not a red pair, but throw a white pair in there. But if I had to take one, I would take black laces on these probably. So final thoughts on these. In hand, I definitely appreciate them more than when I was seeing all the pictures online. I think you really do get a better feel for all of the different materials and seeing how the different kind of shades of red play together, how the different textures of materials kind of go next to each other, how the little cuts right there give you that different contrast and everything. But I'm still not sure if this is something I'm going to be wearing all too regularly. To me, it's very much, if you already have a pair of Chicago Jordan 1s, you probably don't need these. Unless you're a giant Spider-Man fan and, you know, you want to have these just to represent the movie and tell everyone I like the guy that shoots the webs out of his hands, then sure, there's that. But if you already have Chicago Jordan 1s, I would say you probably don't need these. That being said, while they're obviously based on the Chicago colorway, I appreciate that these are such a kind of departure or wild interpretation of the Chicago Jordan 1 colorway. Because, you know, if you remember, the first Spider-Man Jordan 1s were pretty true to Chicago color blocking. They had the little dots all over them, again, to represent comic books, but it was, to me, kind of feels like a step down or consolation prize, or like a we have Chicago Jordan 1s at home. And while these are, again, obviously meant to be a take on and interpretation of Chicago Jordan 1s, and you can see it, I think it's wild and different enough that it doesn't feel like a watered down version, but something that can exist alongside it. But I think I've said about everything I can say about these, so leave a comment down below, let us know, how are you feeling about these? How do you think they compare to the first Spider-Man Jordan 1s? Are you looking to pick these up, or are you not messing with them at all? Are these making your sneaker of the year list by any shot? Leave a comment down below, we're going to read through them and respond to some of our favorite ones. Lastly, if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching, and again, hit that subscribe button. If you watched me talk for this long about sneakers, I promise you're going to enjoy a lot of our other videos and episodes about sneakers. So hit the subscribe button. Again, takes a second, it greatly helps us. But that's it for me. Again, I'm Ryan from Shoe Podcast, and I'll catch you all in the next one.